So the head of Claude Code, Boris, said that you should delete your Claude.md file every 6 months and you'd be surprised what might happen. So I thought I'd put that to the test alongside checking what their new rules of context engineering actually are. In this video, we're going to explore that. We're going to see what the test results were, and we're also going to have a look at the new skill called Doctor and how it applies to your context engineering. Let's get into it. So first things first, let's look on the right hand side. I'm just going to kick this thing off and we're going to run this thing called Doctor. I'm going to hit that and come back to it very soon. But I'm wondering if any of you have noticed that Opus 5 is somewhat terrible, and I started to realize that for the first time. I started complaining about an AI model being shitty at doing something. And that brings us on to the first problem that they noticed, where they found that specific documentation inside your environment. So we have various skills and we have context files, we have Claude.md and several other things in here. What they found was that Claude was actually trying to resolve conflicts between these documents before doing any of the actual work that it needed to do. So for instance, you might have a rule inside your Claude.md telling it to do X, but then inside a skill file or somewhere buried deep inside your AI operating system, you might have a rule that conflicts that. And then when Claude tries to do the task, it looks at both of those things and tries to resolve that conflict before it then moves on to actually do the task at hand. And in doing so, it gets confused about what it was actually meant to do. So what this does is add weight to why he is saying that we should either review or even delete and then rebuild where necessary, because of all these conflicting layers. And it gets more interesting the more we look into this blog of theirs. Because the second thing that they noticed is that originally when we were building with AI 2 or 3 years ago, examples were one of the prime things to give it. And to some degree, they still are. Definitely, if you want something matched for matched as a really good starting point, feed it examples because it's a pattern-making machine. But what they noticed is that by giving it these examples, you're feeding it constraints and essentially telling it that this is what you want, do not do anything else. And in doing so, you've actually taken away from the model's capability to go out there and fly like this little bird over there and never understand what this thing could have done. Because your rules might have been great for a year ago, but now they might be subpar compared to what these models could do by themselves if you allowed them to have more freedom. I think one of the things that we were trying to get away with here was consistency. We were hoping that this consistency and this accuracy was going to give us exactly what we needed, and obviously to some extent it did. But what they're saying now is that this can be a bad trade because it might not be as good as the output that you could have. The only caveat that I would think to this is that if your examples are insane, like those crazy 3D websites that you see out there, I don't know how much better this thing could be by itself if you just gave it the ability to YOLO, as opposed to feeding it that really good example up front. So I think for me, when I look at this, I'm certainly still going to be given it examples. I'm just going to be reviewing those examples before I feed it to it, because I think those levels have drastically changed. The third thing that they're talking about here is progressive disclosure. And this ties in directly with what Boris is saying when he's saying delete your Claude.md, because if you look at what I've got on the screen here, this is my Claude.md. It's changed rapidly since 7 months ago. When I first built my AI operating system, we had a very different framework in here. We weren't using skills. We were using something called the gotcha framework that I came up with, where we marry the goals, which are technically skills, with tools, which were just the scripts that help the goal happen. That's essentially what skills are doing now. So we changed quite a lot. And if you've been around since we started doing that, thanks for being around this whole time. But to focus on the point here, we've gone through many iterations of this, but still inside my Claude.md, you can see I've got things like context, I've got things like data, basically just rules about what goes where inside here, because I was under the impression that Claude would need this and it's far more efficient to do this. So when this blog post came out, I felt quite surprised by it because I'm already using progressive disclosure inside skills. For those of you who don't know what it is, you can think of it as just loading things on demand. If we open up a new tab over here, if I hit /context, you'll see that it's eating a lot of tokens before we've actually even done anything. We haven't written a single line here. And that's because these things are being loaded into our context window. The great thing with progressive disclosure is that a lot of the things inside here, you're actually not hitting the full amount of token usage because of progressive disclosure, meaning it's basically lazy loading. So it loads a little chunk of something first, and then later on loads more and more of it as it realizes that it needs it. That's particularly true inside skills over here. Let's say that I wanted to call my AI news monitor. If I told Claude, hey, what's happening in the news today? It would first think for a second and it would match the description up in the top of this skill over here. If you see this little description, that's why we have it. So it's not going to go and read this entire body of the markdown file, which would obviously cost more tokens and waste time. It's only going to read this description up here. Once it matches on this and says, hey, this is what I need to use in order to go and find AI news, it will then load the rest of this markdown file and then finally any references and assets that go alongside this in order for it to work the way we want it to. So that is the magic of progressive disclosure and why this whole thing is great. But it's also why we don't need all of this stuff in here anymore, because if you think about how this is loaded, what would happen is If we went out looking for a skill for that AI news monitor, if I had any bloat in here that didn't need to be in here, it would not only read that stuff, but this system file gets read at the start of every chat, your Claude.md. So I would be loading in all of this stuff that doesn't actually need to be in the first place, because Claude now knows how to use everything in here by default because of progressive disclosure and its general intelligence about how using all of these Claude native things work. And of course, I tested this. We're not going off of this blind, but just before we jump into that test, if we're looking at context here, so there are tons of ways that you can connect context to your AI operating system. Obviously, you can connect straight into Notion and other things like that. But then you can also stash global context over here that Claude can read. So to me, the most logical thing from what I used to do was to have this folder space just telling Claude, hey, this is where all my context is. But then I thought about it a few months ago, hey, this context should actually be living inside our skills, because inside our skills, we have these references, and this tells it what good looks like. It gives it the context that it needs in order to be a portable and perfectly running skill, which means that, if I had a DM writer over here, why would I need global context of what my voice sounds like for writing DMs when realistically I could just have it in here? So something else to note before I tell you what we were actually testing is that when Boris is talking about this, he's talking about it from the perspective of using Claude Code, meaning for software development. What most of us are doing here with an AI operating system is a little bit different, because we have our own version of a harness that shapes the way that our AI behaves in this environment. It's very different to how a software developer is going to be using it, aka their Claude.md is vastly different than what the average business user or solo founder would have. Anyway, we were testing two things here. Retrieval, which means can Claude still find out what Claude.md would have told it, even if it wasn't there. This tests whether it's a redundant copy or the rule that we have in there is completely pointless. The second thing was routing. So does Claude still go and look when nobody asked it to? And what we're doing here is we're testing whether the file changes the behavior or not, the way that Claude responds to something. And the answer on retrieval is yes. Most of the time it could find exactly what it needed to find without the Claude.md file. It found exactly what we needed to in those tests, except for very unique things like we tested over here with my temp YouTube content. Something to note though, if something specific lives inside Claude.md and it doesn't exist in our other test, it will produce a confidently wrong answer, which is probably worse. Then on result 2, we get to the routing. And this is interesting because obviously there is Claude that can just proactively go out there and use tools in order to achieve a goal. But more importantly, for most of us, we're using some form of skill. Skills, like I said, they are already baked into Claude's programming. It knows how to use them. You do not need to tell it to go and use that. It knows how to do that and then use progressive disclosure to do its thing. And that's exactly what we found over here. Anytime a skill rooted, it rooted correctly and it did exactly what it needed to do as a part of that skill. Interestingly, the difference in our test over here was that with the Claude.md, it didn't always check scripts before writing new code. But otherwise, it was pretty much matched on routing. For me, the most interesting thing, though, comes down to speed. Obviously, it found everything in our tests. It did what it needed to do. But for places where I genuinely needed to point to something, like one of these folders in here, say the context folder, for example, where we didn't have the context inside our skills, it generally performed slower because obviously it had to go and search for these specific things. But that ties back to what they're saying in their blog. It's not about entirely removing everything out of Claude.md. It's about removing those things that are either duplicates of what now lives in other folder structures that load progressively, or in removing those constraints to let this thing fly more. What we're doing in my current Claude.md is not so much that, it's more just about giving this thing pointers as to where everything lives and kind of adds to the harness of our AI operating system, which again is different to how software developers might be using this. So what's the TLDR here on this part of the video? Everything that you've got inside here now might be overly verbose. It might be overly constrained. So address the things that you've got inside here to see if you can make them more performant. Maybe remove some rules. Give the latest models room to roam, like free-range chickens. But there's a tool that can actually help us do that. And that's that thing that I kicked off at the beginning of this video called /doctor. And what it does is it does a health check of the environment and looks at several things that we're about to get into. So what this skill does is it builds you a report of everything that it thinks is wrong with our current environment, things that are inefficient or things that we could be doing better. And if we look down over here, let me zoom in just a little bit, you'll see that it's given us a TLDR. So skill listing is 19.3K tokens just for our descriptions. Remember, we have lazy loading, so this isn't reading all of them in depth. This is just because I've got about 88 skills in here and some of the descriptions might be too long. So this thing is suggesting that we clip some of them or even remove some of the skills that perhaps haven't been used in a while. It will also look for any duplicates. It can see here that I've got 2 versions of Claude installed here. That's because I was running a bunch of tests in here. live super-based tokens embedded in permission rule, so we shouldn't have that in here, and it's obviously telling me about that. 2 hooks error on nearly every single run, so it's also checking what types of hooks we have set up here. And it's obviously doing a health check on whether these things are actually valuable. It's also telling us about our MCP, how many calls have they had in the last 30 days, and it allows us to understand whether these things are actually being used or not. That's kind of what I've been building in my command center. I'll link a video down below so you can see all of the observability and analytics, and we actually built a skill like this a few months ago. Finally, Anthropic have released something that we can all use. In a nutshell, what this skill is going to do is it's going to check your entire AI operating system or whatever it is you're using Claude for and tell you what you should think about changing or what you might actually want to get rid of. You can, of course, look at the entire report over here, and if there's something that you don't understand, you can genuinely just ask this thing, what do you think the best move is? Why do you think we should remove this? Why do you think we should change it? And get it to explain it to you so that you actually understand before you do the thing that you do. But to give you some guidelines over here, if there's anything that's irreversible, do not delete it. This is the thing that protects you and your business. So it could be things inside your DM writer skill or inside your lead gen skill, whatever it is that you have. Things where if Claude does not know this information or you give it the freedom to go out there and it makes a big mistake, it could bring down your business, or you could lose money, or you could do something where you'd end up in trouble. We absolutely want to have rules in place for that. Same thing for here. If there is a path that you do not know to the end, it's always good to have some form of gate, whether that's a human in the loop or even something that says at this point stop, so that it doesn't have the complete freedom to go out there and do what it needs to do for specific use cases. The other thing, like I mentioned to you, make sure you're not removing your own knowledge from here. This thing can eventually find out where your stuff is stored about your voice and things like that, but that doesn't mean that it should waste the time doing that. For most of these things like your voice, your pricing, your clients and things like that, they can all be stashed in the skills. That way they'll only be accessed with progressive disclosure, and that's what I've been doing on this channel for months. But sometimes you do need that global context folder if you're working with a team, or if you're just running AI that needs to read these files outside of a skill, then you want to leave those pointers in your Claude.md. You also need to look at the skills and the things that you're running in your environment. Not everything needs to be running on these frontier models. So you can have separate rules for separate skills or separate things that you do. Haiku responds one way to specific things, but the frontier models like Fable, they're going to respond completely differently. So depending on the skill that you're doing, you should assess that to see how they're going to respond. And I've got videos that I'll link down below on how to understand which model to use for which task. But that is pretty much it for today. Like I said, just run this audit with the /doctor. You need to be on the latest version of Claude Code in order for it to run. Anything where it tells you that you might have duplicates or anywhere that you know that you might have been not using progressive disclosure in the best possible way, that's the time to go back and address your Claude.md, figure out what it's actually being used for and whether it's actually useful. I hope this video was helpful. You can leave some comments down below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, check out the videos on the screen now. They'll definitely help you in your journey. Or you can come and join my community where I'm helping AI builders and business owners every single day. See you guys later.